Another benefit I can think of regarding taking the credit card and using that to pay for your fees is that for the first year, you don't have to pay interest. Hi family, welcome back once again to my channel. And in this month of March, like I mentioned, we are talking about funding. So in today's video, I'll be taking you through how you can use loans and credit cards to pay for your tuition fees whenever you find yourself wanting and you really have to pay your fees to avoid troubles. I would like to appreciate all of my new subscribers who have recently subscribed. I'm really grateful, and to all the old ones as well. At this point, I'll implore you that if you have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so that whenever I upload a video, you'll be the first person to see it. And I'll plead with you once again that please like it if you find this video useful, and share with your friends as well to help others to also benefit and to promote the viewership of this video. Thank you very much. The first way through which you can use loans to pay for your fees is sometimes applying for loans from your home country. Unfortunately, if you don't have that luxury, because it's a luxury actually to have your home country decide to give you from Ghana, and we have that in our country, but it's not so easy for you to get that kind of loans from the government. Yes, it's not so easy for you to get that kind of loans for that amount. No, it's not that easy. So if you don't have access to that luxury, the next thing I can think about is that you should apply for loans from where you bank. But oftentimes, where you bank here in the US, they would request that you get a co-signer. Co-signer, I can think of it like as a guarantor, someone to sign for you, because as you may know, the US system is built on credit, and they would like to see if you are credit worthy. So for example, if you're an international student and you've not lived in the country for a long time, how will they trust you, or how will they check your credibility? That's why sometimes or oftentimes they request that you bring in a co-signer who would be a source of guarantor to show that you pay the loan, or that person can be held responsible in the event that you do not pay the loan. Yes, so that's the whole idea. So if you are fortunate enough to have a relative or a friend in the US who is willing to sign that for you, then you are good to go. But oftentimes that is not the case, because people may not be willing to go to that extent to sign for you. Apart from your bank, there are certain lending agencies or borrowing agencies in the US that are purposely out there to help students to pay their fees. And just like the banks, they also request that you get a co-signer. So if you are thinking about getting that kind of offer, what you should worry most about is not getting the offer, because definitely the offer is there. But what you should be worried most about is that, will I get a co-signer who will be willing to sign for me? That is with the loan option if you want to opt for the loan pathway in the USA. Before you call this whole loan thing over, I also know about two loan agencies that can help you pay your fees. The first one I personally know and I personally recommend is Stilt. Stilt, you can just Google STILT, Stilt. And for them, I know that if you're in the US, then they can assist you. I don't know what will happen if you're outside of the US, because when you're applying for a Stilt loan, they have some requisites, which involves they checking your visa, they checking your I-20, and they would like you to scan all of these documents so they can see the expiry date. And with Stilt, they can give you about 5,000, they can give you 3,000, they can give you 4,000, or even 1,000, depending on why you are applying for the loan, or depending on many factors. I can't really say because I don't know what goes into it. I know people who have received about 3,000 from them. I also know people who have received about 1,000 from them. So I don't know the criteria that they really use, but I know definitely when you call out to them, they can get something for you to help you pay your fees. So Stilt loans, like I said, they request for your I-20, they request for your visa, and then sometimes they request for your passport, and they request for your, I think, admission letter, something that shows that you are indeed an international student. Yes, and the reason why they also want to see the visa and the I-20 and all of those stuff is because the loans come with a time span. Sometimes they'll give you 36 months, sometimes 12 months. This loan is very flexible, okay? Their payment plan is actually flexible, and their interest rate will depend on the month that you are being asked to pay back. So if it's 24 months, if it's 12 months, 6 months, whatever time period that you are being asked to pay back, then they will check and give you that. So Stilt is very flexible in terms of you paying back and all of that. It also helps you to build credit, and building credit is a whole conversation for another day, not for this episode. So it's good that you pay back whenever you take their loans, and then you make sure that you don't miss out on any monthly payments that you are supposed to do, because it can go against your credit score as well. So check out Stilt if you are looking for options like that. And yes, and Stilt also requests that you get co-signers, but with Stilt, the good thing is that your co-signers can be international students too, not necessarily American citizens or green card holders. So your fellow international students can sign for you, and it doesn't matter if that person has gone for the Stilt loan as well. So you could be like 3 or 4 friends and you could sign for each other and then get the loans to pay for the tuition fee. So if you are lost, please consider Stilt. It can give you something to hold you down. The next loan I'm about to talk about is Empower. Actually, a friend told me about Empower before I did this video, so I checked out their website and I realized that Empower was funded by international students. I haven't applied for it before, and I also don't know of anybody who has personally applied for it before, but I checked out their website, and if you have enough time, you can also do so. And I realized that it was funded by international students, and they said that they themselves had gone through that hassle of paying fees, and they thought of bringing out this whole idea, and they've helped a lot of people to get their loans. And the good news is that with Empower, even before you come to the US, you can still apply for the Empower. On their website, they've mentioned that when they give you the loans, they would give you letter to support your I-20, your visa applications, and all the necessary documentation, which I think is a very safe option, because if they are proving that they are going to fund you and they are a credible source, I think it's a good thing that you can consider. So they give loans to international students, and they also have refinancing option. Interestingly, when I checked their website, I realized that they have some scholarships as well. So apart from loans, please check out their scholarships. They have some for women in STEM. They have some for different, even monthly scholarships, you know, global citizen scholarships. I think it's a very nice thing. So you can check them out. Empower. I'll put the website here in the comment section, so that if you find yourself in that position, you can also look them up. So Empower Stilt. So you can read more about them as well. One thing I saw about Empower that I was personally unhappy about was the fact that they give loans to people who are attending some selected schools. So I just keyed in my old school, Eastern. I'm like, Eastern Illinois University. It didn't show up. So imagine that if I have an offer for Eastern and I'm looking for some money to fund my education, it means I don't qualify for their loan or something. That was the only thing that put me off. So it means that unfortunately not all schools or not all of you might benefit if your school is not in their category. But then again, the good news is that if you are looking for funding to take care of yours and you have not yet applied, or if you're looking at other options or holding on, you can always look to the schools that they give sponsorship to, and then you can look into their programs. If you like any of them, you apply for it, and then you speak to them and arrange funding options. So read about them. Empower, it's also an option for international students, and since they've been there before, I think that they understand our situation better. Apart from the loans, I'll quickly talk about the credit cards. So I realized that it's a credit society where you always have to prove that when they give you loans, you pay back, or when they give you money, you pay back. If they give you a mobile phone, let's say an iPhone 13, and it costs $1,000, and you're able to pay back within that period of time without missing any payments and paying back quickly and all of that, it increases your credit score. So the first time you went for a phone, so next time when you're going for a car, then they can trust you that this lady paid for the phone. The next time when you're going to buy anything else, on even clothes, anything else on credit, then you can be trusted that you would pay back. So that's the whole idea of this credit system. I have not yet seen or experienced, but I've heard stories of people who go about $10,000 on their credit card, and they use that to pay for their tuition. Like I've always mentioned, all your attention should be on the tuition. For the feeding and those things, because you're working on campus, you would survive. Okay, with cards like American Express, I can mention American Express and also Discover. Personally, when I applied for the credit cards, for Discover, I got $1,750, and for American Express, I got about $1,000 US. So in all, it means about $2,750. So let's just run off and say $3,000. So $3,000 can actually help you take care of your tuition at a particular time. So this is something that you can think about if you are looking for alternatives. And I think that some people even get more. I don't know how it is done, or how the application process, how detailed it should be before you can get more or before you can get less. But I've just shared with you how much I received. Another benefit I can think of regarding taking the credit card and using that to pay for your fees is that for the first year, you don't have to pay back, you don't have to pay interest. The interest just counts after a year. I don't know if it's for all credit cards, but I know there's a particular credit card like that. I think with Discover, if you're a student and you make good grades, I think above 3.0 or so, I can't really remember, they give you something little. These are all some of the reasons why you should get a credit card, and with that, you can use that to pay for your fees. These are some of the ways that you can use loans and credit cards to pay for your fees. I hope you make some time and then read more about Empower and stuff, because I think that it's a very good way of getting loans, especially if you can get non-Americans or green card holders to sign to guarantee your loan for you. I hope you found this video helpful and then useful. And then as you are thinking about your funding options, I believe that you consider some of these alternatives that I have just laid out in this video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.